They don't really wanna hear the truth no more. Think they scared how I make them feel. And you can say anything you want about me, I ain't worried, that don't make it real. They don't really wanna hear the real no more. Think they scared how I make them act. And you can say anything you want about me, I ain't tripping, that don't make it fact. Look, coming live from the gutter like a cold puddle, with water whipping road shuttle. Whole huddle, Dutch burner, moving slow, I'm feeling like the minute hand. All wishes granted to me, turning in a tenant van. Been the man, never questioned nothing that was in the plan. See it from my third eye vision, so I understand. Poolside plotting moves like a dance team. 100 band scheme, in the dirty with my hands clean. Never been the type of they could castrate. 5th grade, I was selling candy to my classmates. I ain't call her back, I let her think about the last date. Student of the game, and I promise you not a classmate. Problem is with these rap, they move iffy. In my mood picky, can't let these get rude with me. God spit a known to keep my then it hit the game. Acting like I slipped in these small town fly. Never heard of these on my apex. Tip top vertices. It ain't mouths moving, but they never moving vertically. Hit a person, stupid practicing the perjury. Black Lord, Noble Drew, big stepping. Love them all, give a about the click repping. Small losses always taught in big lessons. Quit stressing, liberating knowledge, make the lesson. They don't really want to hear the truth no more. Think they scared how I make them feel. And you can say anything you want about me, I ain't worried, that don't make it real. They don't really want to hear the real no more. Think they scared how I make them act. And you can say anything you want about me, I ain't tripping, that don't make it fact. They don't really want to hear.
I was muted. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. Sorry, my thing is loose here, so it's going to try to move. Hi, everybody. Long time no see. Okay. So, let me get back to my comments. Sorry, I was having computer problems. Okay, so today I have special guests on. A couple months ago, I did a live about Gretchen Fleming, and this woman has that I'm about to introduce you to has been leading the search efforts, the private search efforts for Gretchen in our area. So I want to introduce you to her, and we're going to talk with her about what she's doing and all the things about Gretchen Fleming. So, all right, I'm going to add her to the stream. You ready, Chrissy?
Ready.
Hey!
Hey!
Good to see you.
You too.
I didn't know if my computer would ever get itself together.
Same.
How are you?
Good, really good.
Good. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, and I'll let you start off.
So my name is Chrissy Lawrence. I guess all of this started pretty much from the get-go when Gretchen went missing. When they first ran the public community search at Mountwood Park is when I was introduced to Gretchen's grandfather. And that's when, after speaking to the family and meeting them, I realized that I was going to have to try to do more. All of us need to try to do more.
Yeah.
But that was 8 months ago, and we've put in a lot of hours since then.
Yeah, you have. I've been out with you, I think, twice, and yes. We had a little bit of a interesting time the second time, but you guys have been out quite a bit, and you've been in some serious locations.
Yeah, something to
So
say the
yeah,
least, that's for sure.
yeah, some
So
dangerous.
there's been a lot of new milestones that we've crossed several times, and each one it just seems like more of a bonding experience with everybody that's there.
Yeah.
Just to know that we came out on the safe end.
Yeah. Well, I know the last time that I saw you was at the press conference for Gretchen.
Yes.
And you were looking for rope.
Yes. 2,000 feet to be exact.
Yeah. She was basically, what do they call it? Splunking? Is that what they call it?
Well, that was kind of that was the idea. Yeah, that we were going to take gravel hooks and kind of dredge the bottom of the water. But once we got down there, it ended up being a bigger idea, and we went to an inflatable kayak that we could pull down into it was a tunnel. But once we inflated it down in the tunnel, the 2,000 feet of rope at that point was just to be, we weren't sure, we knew the length of the tunnel, wasn't sure how much water was out there. We couldn't see the end. So we just wanted to make sure whoever was going to be in that kayak that, if anything happened with it being inflatable was always, kind of a scary issue, but, being able to pull them back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to give, some people might not have seen the live that I did on Gretchen. So, if I can get my computer to work here, that would be great. I'm going to pull up Gretchen's picture and her information, maybe. Okay, I'm going to close that because that's not going to work if I do this. How many searches do you think you've been on while I'm waiting on this to pull up?
In total, I don't think I could probably put a number on it as far as, I mean, the days, originally when we first started, it was, we kind of figured that it was going to come to a close fairly soon. So, we kind of thought like, every weekend we would spend, one Saturday and, search for, 3, 4, 5 hours, once we got on site. But then as time's progressed, it's, we get calls and leads all the time. So we try to run out to every location. So, there might be in 1 week that we search 6 days out of that 7 days, just because now as time has passed, it's the more time that we can put in, the longer this is going to get drug out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have been out a bunch. Okay, so if you're new to this case and have not heard of Gretchen, this is Gretchen Fleming. She's missing from Parkersburg, West Virginia. She's been missing since December 4th of 2022. I need to update this information because the reward is now up to $100,000. I do have the new one, but I just haven't updated it on my StreamYard. She's 5'1", weighs 110 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. So this is, I'll just kind of click through the timeline here while we're talking. So what drew you to Gretchen's case? Because I know that, I think we talked before, we all have that case that kind of pulls us in, and it's very hard and it's very emotional. You get really emotionally invested, and I know Gretchen's case is that. So what brought you in? What pulled you into this?
It's I've got two daughters that I just think the world of, and I can't imagine anybody wanting to do anybody that age any harm, any wrongdoing. I can't even wrap my head around it. But so that mother instinct kind of kicked in, for the first immediately right after. It was just, I got to do what I can to help this family. But the day that I was at Mountwood, when I met the grandfather, I knew that day after speaking to him for just a few minutes that I wasn't going to be able to give up. So I promised him out there that day, and I briefly spoke to him that, I was going to continue, after that day, I was going to continue to go searching. So it's just, we had a lot of volunteers at the beginning, and it's obviously has dwindled down tremendously, for various reasons. But I don't know. It's tough to not, I can't imagine their pain, but it's tough to not feel it at times. They're all wonderful people. They've done a lot for our community, and, don't get enough credit for it. So, she comes from an outstanding family, and,
Yes.
Regardless of anybody that's missing. It doesn't mean that it's more precedent, but and it's also opened my eyes to all the other missing people in this area. So I don't think our focus is on Gretchen, but there's several other cases that we've had family members reach out that want to see if maybe we could help and try to locate them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had made this timeline, and I had done a live a couple months ago on Gretchen, but I am like busy constantly with the kids, so I haven't been able to do a review or anything like that. But so I'm just, let's see here, his vehicle. So I don't know if you want to answer this, and if you don't want to answer this, you can tell me no. What do you think?
There's some stuff I won't be able to, but I'll try to do my best.
Yeah. What do you think of this guy?
Oh, Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I can't. There's no filter when it comes to that. There's I've called him out several times. I've sent him, messages. I can't imagine what kind of person it takes to do something, and then to not, to not only the act of whatever has happened, but how you could go to sleep at night, or how you could not say something, how you could see this family. We've done everything, but put a semi truck in his front yard with her picture on it. As long as I'm alive, I'll never let him forget her name.
Well, it's almost like he is silently bragging. I don't even know if that was a thing, but like he's very
I feel so, and I've never met the man. I don't know anything about him. I don't other than what I've gathered on this case, and
right.
But it definitely does. I don't know. I would think take somebody very cocky, and if the man is innocent, he's done a lot of shady things. Disguising his name on and fake Facebook accounts, and just doesn't seem like something that if you weren't guilty, I would think that you would do everything you could to
clear your
help
name,
figure out what happened and clear your name. Yeah, rather than just hiding.
Right. Yeah. And considering he was the last person to see her alive, and I believe the police still have his vehicle, right?
Yes.
So we can only just keep talking about Gretchen and keeping her name out there, and I know that I'm really surprised with the local news that they've kept her name and face in there as much as they have. They have done quite a bit of coverage on Gretchen's case. So That's
Yeah, there is one guy at WTAP that has been amazing at trying to, stay up with, every, unfortunately, the anniversary of the day that she was missing. I mean, for the lack of a better word when I say anniversary, but
yeah, I know.
it's he's done really well at making sure that the Flemings, are able to keep that name out there. But
Yeah,
I do know that he is going to be leaving WTAP, but there's going to be a couple people that's going to be taking his spot to make sure that it gets covered.
right. Yeah, her family is absolutely wonderful. Her dad is awesome. We talked to him at the press conference. Her grandmother is just, she breaks my heart every time she
Yes.
says anything, makes a Facebook post, does anything. And they are doing like I think you can donate to the if anybody would like to donate to them for signs and bracelets and banners and everything. I'll put that link in the description of this video because there is a link. I just don't have it on me right now. But I mean, so Chrissy has been out with everybody multiple times. I mean, you heard her, it's constantly all the time. She has dealt with a lot from social media, of course. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you've had to experience with social media?
I mean, we've had a lot of support from social
Yeah.
media, and of course, it's a great platform just to be able to get, I constantly try to put out on Facebook that, all the missing links and a lot of Louisa's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we have had occasional, threats. I mean, at one point, especially when we were doing the interviews for WTAP, we were getting a lot of phone calls, people calling in saying that, I should be considered a suspect. And so it just got to the point that they were just rattling off the police department's name when they would answer the phone at my work. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's always going to be a couple people that's got, an uneducated opinion and they feel like they should shout it at the rooftops. And I mean,
Right.
I mean, that's okay too.
Are you guys still searching even through the summer? I haven't got to talk to you very much lately, but you guys are still searching, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing I can say in the difference is like when we started in the winter, I mean, every couple days and we were going out, like we would be on one location for several days, sometimes even 2 weeks, depending on how big it was. But you could just watch the area growing and multiplying, and the line of sight just disappear. So now that everything's kind of overgrown, it is definitely slowing everything down. We do have a dog that we work with, and we've got another one in training that we're going to start. We're going to actually use it to train while we're looking for Gretchen. So the two dogs do help a lot. But so far we haven't, we don't have the second dog,
Right,
to where it's, dependable. But when it's thicker like this, I mean, I am looking forward to, once it starts getting colder and everything does die down, because you can really cover a lot of area a lot faster.
right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, and in this, I think what people don't understand if they don't live in areas like ours is that it's really, really thick with the underbrush. So it's really hard to get through those locations now. And so at the time of Gretchen's disappearance, those areas were pretty clear. So because all of that underbrush was not, everything was dead at that point in time. So you were able to get through to those places much easier than you are right now. So
yeah, I mean, you've got snakes and a lot of wildlife. I mean, we've got one location, we've got a bear moving around that we were trying to dodge, and
Right.
So, I mean, in the summertime, you've got, it's the animals play a factor in it as well. It's nice that, it does stay dark lighter, but you definitely need that extra time to clear
Yeah.
as much space as you could in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, and not to mention in the summertime, it's just miserably hot and humid here. So it's hard, you don't move as fast as you do, I don't think, in the.
Yeah, it slows you down, and especially if you're carrying a lot of equipment and
Yeah.
just the gear at some of the locations. But some of the stuff we've just learned to kind of bypass and drive,
Yeah.
and then ask for forgiveness later. Because it just, I mean, you might walk for instance, like 2.5 miles, 2 miles to get to one spot. I mean, you're wore out by the time you get there before you even start searching. So
Right.
at that point, it was just, we're going to try to drive as far in as we can.
Right. And it's not 2.5 miles of flat open ground.
Yeah.
You're climbing hills, you're sliding down into like little gullies or whatever you want to call them, and you're climbing over down trees and swamp water and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot different.
A lot of swamp waters, a lot of briars.
Yeah, because 2.5 miles doesn't sound like very much until you add in the terrain. Yeah. So, and then, so you guys, what, obviously your goal is to find Gretchen, but what do you guys need more of? What do you need to help your efforts?
Tips, leads. I mean, the same as, everything's kind of a shot in the dark. I mean, you've got, educated guesses, and, we have hired a psychic medium, and we use her a lot. I mean, we have a lot of tools. But, the more thing, I guess, all of us are okay. We don't need anything. It's just, more money, towards the reward money, and buying T-shirts, and keeping her name out there. I mean, just if you're just going for a walk, and you're hiking in the woods, just kind of slow down and look around. That's all.
Yeah, because I mean, every time I go anywhere, it is. You don't think about it whenever, it's just a normal time in life, right? But when you're looking for someone, you just think, wow, she could be anywhere. And
that's all you catch yourself doing it everywhere you're at. I mean, I know that I do. I mean, even if I'm, by myself or walking with the kids, I'm, I start veering off, and, just in case, or, what if always enters your mind.
Right. And well, and the suspect, Preston Pierce, he has ties to a lot of different areas, kind of remote areas. He has family all over, acquaintances all over. And he was kind of everywhere, right? So he was all over the place in those.
Yeah, there's no no place that he really, I don't feel, calls home. I feel like he's just, constantly moving.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of area that he's familiar with, just in the rural, all the wooded areas around here. So
right.
We're trying to stay focused, as close to Parkersburg as possible. But, we've not searched anything really too much inside the city, except for the Johnson TJ Park.
Right. Yeah. And even that, I mean, even for being in the middle of the city, it was pretty hard.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a big area. Yeah. That really is. It's deceiving, because it really is a big area.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was down there, and I'm like, where in the heck? I pulled up. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I used to hike now. I used to walk down through there all the time because it goes right down around the creek, and I mean, I still to this day go down there. So,
Mhm.
it's a nice place, but yeah, it's a lot larger than what you would think,
Yeah.
especially being right there in the city.
Uh-huh. And when you, and it's got so many different access points and things like that. So it was a point of interest. But and there's several places that are points of interest because of, his behaviors or his links or his acquaintances and different things. So people are paying attention to what's going on with him. And I hope that if he had um, any like what's the word I'm looking for? Any contact, or if any of his family or friends saw him during that, even that week, just that those few days after, you know, she went missing, if they had any contact, they'll report that they did, because that's really important. And that could be the smallest puzzle piece that they need to, find Gretchen. So, um, is there anything that you want to talk about? I mean, this is your open platform. I just kind of just wanted to talk to you, and so people could hear um, your passion and what you guys are doing for Gretchen. And it's just it's awesome. If I had more free time, I would be out there with you guys more. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing is just there's so many that's missing in this area that's not been found, and once your eyes kind of open and you start digging around and you see these other people that that their family hasn't forgot about them, because we've heard from them. So, just keeping the names out and keeping aware of, if you see something, say something. You know what I mean? I mean, there's probably was several opportunities that was missed to maybe have stopped uh, all of this, and then again, maybe not. I mean, what ifs aren't good for anybody, but um, just I mean, if anybody can listen to this and just post her name, buy a T-shirt, wear a bracelet, and there's so many other people that's missing in this area. Uh, Brenda Mackey. I mean, we can go on and on. We've looked into that case as well, too, and that's probably going to be the next one that we look at once this one's done. But I mean, that's mainly the main thing is there's a lot of missing people in the area, and I mean, anything anybody can do to help. I mean, just check your surroundings and get out and look. I mean, it doesn't take a team. It doesn't, you don't have to have, we've just been blessed with the dog that we've got working with us, because like I said, that's a huge tool to have. But just anything. I mean, if you think that possibly somebody could be somewhere, just check it out. And I mean, you just don't know.
yeah, I mean, even if you saw his vehicle around that time frame, and
yeah, any information from anything that it could be something small about his even just knowing him and a certain mannerism, a certain location that he hung out at.
right.
Yeah, and checking cameras. I mean, everybody should make sure. I mean, all businesses should have checked their cameras around that time frame, just to see
Yeah,
if that car. I know I've had downtime, and I've definitely checked ours, but
right.
I mean, he's done DoorDash and Walmart deliveries. I mean, even several of the volunteers have had run-ins with this man of some sort, or he's delivered stuff to their house and they've had an encounter with him. So
Right. Well, I mean, there was a lot of people that did come forward about their experiences with him, and there was not one positive interaction that was ever talked.
No, one of the volunteers is a he harassed her.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why she's a lot of the volunteers have been afraid. They don't want out in front. And they're don't want anything to happen, or their husbands don't want anything to happen.
Right.
It's legitimate concerns. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, he's just the women that we've talked to from his past. It's none of it's been good encounters.
Mm-mm. No. Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of just like any other true crime case, really, that everybody that is watching has seen it, but there's speculation and rumors and all of that stuff. But when most of that stuff can be verified, it adds a new layer of scary, because he was a delivery driver and he was at many locations and many people's homes, and door dashing their food, and Walmart delivery, and a lot of those gig work apps don't run background checks or anything. So not that his would have even come up with anything.
Well, my gosh, you had to check his. He was it was shown in the background. He was a police officer. They would have. He's gotten away with. Just the talk that some of these women that have running with him. Whether he was delivering their food or whatever the case may be, but just the graphic content that he was saying was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was his Facebook, or not Facebook, his travel reviews were even weird.
Yes.
Making comments about each receptionist, each
waitress. One
there,
waitress wasn't as cute as the other one that never even waited on him. Yeah. I'd read all that.
Yeah.
He's even posted on Facebook under a alias name, calling people ridiculous for assuming that this man was guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
so I do feel that's part of the cockiness, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of always, we talked about like how he's always it's always been possible that he's been in like the Facebook groups and stuff like that. That's why you guys have kept everything very, quiet about where you were going to be and all of that stuff, because not only for Gretchen's sake, but for your safety too. So because he's kind of unpredictable. So I know that dealing with someone like this, how they just kind of lurk around, and it's very weird. So yeah. So in all of your searches that you've done, what is there anything like out of any of those times that you want to share with everybody about anything? I don't know what you want to talk about, what you don't. So I guess we should have talked about that before.
Oh no, you're good. Just I guess the possibility of trying to think of where you would put somebody, and the moment you think that you're talking yourself out of that location, whether it be too high, too low, too far, you end up talking yourself right out of it, because there's always that what if.
Right.
I would say, there's obviously been a bond, with everybody that's searched. There's been, some crazy ones. There's been some funny ones. There's been some scary ones.
Right.
um, tunnel being probably the scariest by far.
Yeah, that looked terrifying.
Yeah, it was like being in a whole nother world.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have been able to do that just because I am claustrophobic and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I had been to the location twice, and I had it in my head that like it wasn't going to be too bad. Although I had trouble just being in the tunnel underground itself. Um, and uh, at one point, I was just when I was above ground, I thought I'm just going to do this like a band-aid and just rip it off and just run it and jump in a kayak once it's inflated and just push off and go.
Yeah.
So as one of the other volunteers, which I can't mention her name, but she about ran me over as I was, in that set mind to just because it's dark and it's really wet and we were, going out in unknown territory and I'm terrified of snakes and anything that's virtually in the water itself. So she basically about ran me over and said, "You're not going alone," and jumped in. So that was a pretty good experience. Neither one of us flipped the kayak, and obviously we survived that moment. But it was a new adventure and one that I won't forget.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, these are some of the pictures that Chrissy let me share. It's pretty creepy also.
Yeah, so a lot of the past locations that we've searched, I mean, they're not a secret. Just any of the stuff that we have, pending or that we're
Right.
currently at, we don't release just because we definitely don't want Preston, Daryl, whoever he is,
Right.
rolling up on us.
Well, and a couple of the girls, the first search that everybody came to, the first one that you guys did, a couple of girls thought it was him that had rolled up in the parking lot. So, definitely, and that was because that one was public. So,
well, and I would say at that point that it was. I would say that was him, and then we had another one that we've actually got footage of that drove up on us on another site.
mm-hmm.
We don't know for sure that it was him, but I mean, it definitely seemed like it. I mean, as soon as we started going towards him, he took off and turned around. But it's just, I mean, you just don't know unless, you just don't know. But it's always a possibility.
Yeah. And, there's the areas that he knows are, this one's wild right here. The areas that he knows and well, they're the locations that are like really remote and, off the road. It's easier to look
because
for that off the road, but you have to get out and get off the road to where some places that it is quite a distance through there. So
yeah, there's been tunnels and caves and
mm-hmm.
A little bit of everything that we've checked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now, I mean, and I will say that we don't go on private property unless we have written permission first.
Right.
And thank you to the ones that do watch this that has given us permission. They've, anybody that we've asked has been more than helpful. Nobody has ever, told us no or,
right.
They've asked for anything that they could do to assist. So it's been nice.
Yeah, a lot of people around here know of Gretchen. The ones that there was tons of people that showed up for the search at Mountwood Park. And so a lot of people know about Gretchen and they're more than willing to help. So Gabble Geeks wants to know, do we know anything about what Preston Pierce is doing now?
Right now, no, nothing that I'm allowed to say.
Right. I know that he doesn't have the vehicle. So we talked about that earlier, but I also talked about that the last time. His vehicle is still in possession of law enforcement.
Correct.
So in a different vehicle, and it could be different vehicle, not just the same vehicle each time. So I mean, that's what's really scary.
Yeah, we've heard he's been rentals, and he's borrowed other people's cars.
Mhm.
So I mean, to pinpoint what he would be in would be tough to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was some people that had come forward and said that he was hanging out in what is that little Sardis? Sardis, wasn't
Sardis,
it?
Ohio, yes.
Sardis, Ohio.
Yeah.
And was there was people posted on Facebook that they had seen him at bars in Martinsville, right across the river. So in West Virginia. So at that point in time, we don't really know exactly where he was at. And how in social media, some people might have thought that it was him, or you just never know. So but as law enforcement has done a pretty good job at keeping everybody updated with what they can and letting the family speak. The news held that press conference for Gretchen's family to talk and plead with anyone who has any information. That was nice. They got to share about Gretchen, and the t-shirts sold out like what 20 minutes after
Yes, very quickly. Yeah, they were
awesome.
out.
Yeah. So that was nice. It was nice to be able to hear the family, and anytime that I think that the family wants to speak, they get a platform. So that's awesome, because a lot of times that's not the case in missing persons cases. And if they do,
Well, if you've ever met Louise Fleming, I don't think she'll take no for an answer.
either. She's awesome. Yeah.
She's she's an amazing person, but yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able to tell her no. Yeah, she's not going to give up.
No, she's not. And she's constantly posting on social media. She's posting pictures. She makes sure her face is out there. I do know that they've put up tons of banners and signs, and someone or people think it's funny to take them down, which is messed up in itself. But they just keep putting them up. And so what I'll do is I'll post the link in the description of this video. So people, if they would like to donate to the family, they can donate directly to them. I believe that they have a fund for that stuff. And then
Yes.
I think the girl that does the t-shirts, she makes t-shirts for the family. So, and all the proceeds go to, and I think that I don't know. Do you know how much money of the reward fund came from that? Do you know if any? I can't remember if they were putting it towards that or just back towards the bracelets and the
on the t-shirts or the banners and stuff. No, that was completely separate. There was I think local businesses was donating money, and then I think the Flemings was I think it initially started paying for it, but I know at one point Phil said that they had so many that was paid for in advance.
Right.
But I would still I'm not saying don't, I mean, but that's the whole thing. Keep supporting that.
Mm-hmm.
So they can continue to keep her name out there.
Right. Yeah. PIs or psychics. Lindsay Culver, there's no private investigators, but they do have is she a private investigator and a psychic medium, or just psychic medium?
She is a psychic detective and a FBI profiler.
Okay. Okay. So they do have one that they work with. So, and she is, I haven't talked to her, but I've talked to Chrissy about her. So she's helping them as much as she possibly can, and she's giving them some good locations and stuff.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
see.
in contact with her weekly.
Yeah. Gretchen's middle name, I want to say it's Louise, right? It's Gretchen Louise.
That I don't know.
Gretchen Louise Fleming, I think. I think she's named after her grandma. But yeah, her family's wonderful, and if you're not local, or if you can't, do anything else, sharing her picture and her information is the best thing that you can do. I think you have a pretty tight volunteer group for everyone's safety. So as far as volunteer searches and stuff, just whenever you're out, and if you're local to the Parkersburg area, if you just drive around, if you go to a park, if you're down by the river, anywhere, not just Parkersburg and downriver. If you're at the river, keep an eye out for anything abnormal. I think unfortunately we're at a point where it doesn't look very good. And that's scary, but I think it's the reality. And her family is just fighting to bring her home no matter what. So if you guys just share her picture and her information, that would be very helpful, because it's really the best thing that anybody can do, because some might remember something. Thank you, Lindsay Colbert. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to say? I want to keep it under an hour, so kind of short, but is there anything else that you want to say? Anything you want to talk about before we end this?
I mean, no, I think we've pretty well, covered everything that I can talk about.
Yeah. I didn't want to do formal questions, because I know there's a lot that you can't talk about. So I just kind of wanted to keep it conversational. Is there anything that you want to say about Gretchen or to the person responsible?
Oh, the crazy thing is during this whole thing, it was like a mother instinct, kicked in, like I said before, to, go after her. But I never have ever laid eyes on this girl, but the emotional attachment, and you're aware of this, it's heartbreaking. Because at the beginning you want to go in and be able to try to help answer their, answer the family's, questions, and be able to, bring her home. So, at some point you have to, but like I said, what ifs aren't good for anybody, but it does enter your mind, and it does take a toll on you. I do know that a lot of people here lately have been telling me I look extremely tired.
It happened.
So, it does take you over sometimes. But like I said, I'd still do every bit of it over again.
Yeah. 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 when we talked that one time, I was like, everybody has that case, that one case that just rips them up. And, you know, your passion and drive and dedication to Gretchen is awesome. And it's awesome to know you. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
A lot, and I know that her family does too. So, because they told you so, and I heard them say it. And it was really emotional to meet them in person and stuff, because you can just see the love that they have for her. And
Oh, it just boils over.
Mhm.
That's one thing, is that I wish I would have met her, because I think the world of you know, all of the family that
Yeah.
I've met, and you know, they're just good people.
They are. Yeah. And they love Gretchen deeply. And, you know, and I don't even think that, I think what's so sad is that I don't even think that they've had the time to, process anything at all yet, because they've just been, you know, dedicated to finding her. And they've not even, they've definitely not broken down publicly, but you can see that they're where their heart is, and that's in their determination of finding her. So it's really awesome to witness. And I know that someday there'll be answers for Gretchen, and they'll, you know, that you guys are doing an awesome job going out all the time and searching for her. So, and when I get my next kid free day, I'll be out there with you. But you know, I
More
mean,
than welcome. Always.
yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a different, I mean, if you guys, I know it's not like a common thing to go out searching for a missing person. But to go in and search for someone that's missing is so emotional, isn't it? It's just like, it, you want to keep going and go and go and go until you physically can't anymore. And then whenever you leave and you haven't found found them, then you're kind of beating yourself up over not finding them. And it's a whole emotional roller coaster, and that I don't think that people really understand.
It's a lot of heartbreak. I mean, it really is. There's I mean, I have breakdowns all the time, but
Mm,
luckily
yeah.
I have Abby to smack me back.
Is Abby there?
Yeah, she's here. She's always right here.
She was she's just coming down to sit on the other side of the phone. She don't want to be on there.
Yeah, she's in the background.
Well, she said that it's because she doesn't have much of a filter. You're more filtered whenever it comes to.
Yes, yes. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like any of the stuff we're not supposed to answer,
Back there.
Abby be like, "Let me tell you."
Yeah. Yeah, she's about to explode back there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so I mean, you guys have done awesome, and I'm really I'm proud to know you guys. And if there's anything that you ever need, you know, I'm here. And hopefully, you know, more people can spread her picture and her name everywhere.
Yeah,
And
because it's, you know, it's been 8 months, and then it's going to be 9. So I mean, the main thing is
yeah.
don't give up. Take that 2 minutes and you know, blast social media.
Yeah.
You know, I do it generally as soon as I get the office. I'll, you know, blow 2 or 3 out on Facebook, the missing posters, and then you know, go about my day. But you know, she's always in the back of my mind. So if everybody would just take a piece of that, you know, where she's always, you know, in the back of your mind, that's all it's going to take, is to get this all wrapped up.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to take.
Yep, that's right. Okay, well, if there isn't anything else that you want to say, I'll let you go.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And like I said, you always have this platform if you ever want to say anything or talk about anything. And I'll be talking to you really soon.
Okay.
Alrighty.
See you, girl.
Bye. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I know that, a lot of you might not have heard of Gretchen before, and we didn't really do a good overview. If you want to know more about Gretchen's case, the timeline, and all of the information that I didn't go over here I did a live a while back, and I'll put that link in the description as well. If one of the mods has that link, that would be cool. And then I will also put in the links for the family in the description of this video. And if you are watching on replay, which I know there's a lot going on right now in these YouTube streets, so and we've had a long day of trial watching too, so if you are in the replay, thank you for watching, and thank you for being here, the ones that were here and in chat and asking questions and chatting amongst each other, and it's awesome. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, so this was fun, and I'll be back really soon. I won't go as long, I promise. I'm back. I promise. So I love you guys, and make sure you smash the thumb on your way out. Bye.